Hello and welcome to another episode of Hardcore Minecraft with Grand Zoo. In this episode it'll be days 250 to day 300. In this episode I will do a raid and get Hero of the Village as well as take down a Woodland Mansion. And throughout these 50 days I will be gathering blocks to build a massive gold farm, and just collecting the blocks took hours. To start things off, I wanted to get an incredibly OP sword because currently I've just been using a Smite 5 sword and I wanted to get that Sharpness 5 action. I knew that I would be cycling on the enchantment table quite a bit, so I ended up making a few really OP axes as well, instead of just wasting those cycles on books. Along the way I did get a few really awesome books, as well as just in general was having some really good luck. This sword was super OP with the Sharpness 5. To also prepare for the raid, I filled in any holes or caves on the property where the raiders could get into. Once I finished that, I swooped over to the outpost and got Bad Omen.
Oh shit, here we go again.
And then it was time to party. Because I'm super smart, I left these blocks up that were for zombies to get into the trading hall, and the pillagers were just walking right in.
Oh hell no!
Daddy, chill.
No!
Accidentally shot this golem and had to take him out. It was a sad day. With the super ultra mega bacons, I was pretty invincible, but I still took this pretty cautiously at first, which is silly, because the first waves are the easiest.
Wow!
Brutal, savage, wrecked.
Was able to get my first totem of the raid here.
Yes! Shut up!
I was getting much better at fighting the Vex, and that's good because I prefer to wear the Elytra. And I had to get this bamboo out of the way. It was saving them. I got another totem, and as much as I could I wanted to avoid the evokers, but when they weren't around I had no problem going in with a sword.
Stop bullying! Get there! Get there! Oh, hell no!
There were times where I was taking quite a lot of damage, but the beacons were making me just way too OP.
I can't believe what we're seeing!
And with that last witch, I had finally done it. I had beaten the raid and received Hero of the Village. Now that I had Hero of the Village, it was time to just trade my balls off to get as much as I could while the discounts were hot. I was able to get a stack and a half of emerald blocks, but I was really unprepared for the Hero of the Village part of the raid and didn't really have much to trade with them. I wanted to get even more extra tools, so I enchanted a few of them and got some really OP stuff. Next, I needed a Woodland Explorer map so I could go find the mansion. I grabbed a few supplies and I headed out. I had already traded for one of these maps, but I have no idea where I put it. With that previous map, I had gotten completely lost, so this was a nice fresh start with this, and I was determined to find it this time. After flying for an entire day and most of the night, I finally found it, so I slept and then got right after it. I think I've only been to one of these once, so I was looking inside this duck for loot. It wasn't there. Then I was just systematically clearing each room.
Bruh. What more do you want from me?
Daddy, chill.
So even with the chestplate on, these guys were getting me down to about half health. It was not chill at all.
Got him!
I could not find this evoker anywhere, and after a while I had to bail because I was just getting bullied way too hard, way too many mobs. This guy was seriously a ghost. I couldn't find him at all, and I was just breaking down roofs looking for him, and then finally saw him through this window. The Woodland Mansions can get kinda hairy at times. I mean, the Vindicators hit like a truck, and there's tons of them everywhere.
What is that?
I even ran into an invisible spider. The loot in these Woodland Mansions really isn't that great. I made the most of it. I got a ton of bookshelves after fighting this creeper. It was mostly just diamond hose, which is cool, I guess.
Wow!
Until I found that music disc and that chest plate, it had been utter trash in all of these chests. After collecting all of this garbage loot, I had a completely original idea that nobody has ever done before in the history of Minecraft and YouTube. I burnt down the Woodland Mansion. On the way back, I did find this other gnarly bastion, and it was exactly the same one I had done earlier in the series, and I was not really interested in doing all of that right now. So it was back home to work on another massive project. For this gold farm, I needed just shy of 4,000 magma blocks, so I got a bunch of fire resistance pots and I got to work. This is really tedious and honestly it sucked, but I'm glad that I collected all the magma blocks ahead of time because going down from the nether roof to keep getting them would have been a nightmare. I kept a lot more footage in here in the time lapse than I probably should have, but I really wanted people to get a sense of just how long this takes to collect. I mean, this is maybe only 5 or 10% of the time I spent doing this.
Bruh.
And as you can see in this next shot, I filled an entire double chest up with this stuff, and I was still missing a few stacks. So this is big time grind. I also needed about 2,500 glass blocks for the build, so I got to grinding on that as well, and then was just waiting for the glass to cook. While I was waiting for all that glass to cook up, I decided to be productive still and work on a new trading hall because my other one failed miserably and I need something where I can actually convert them to zombies and cure them efficiently. So I cleared out this giant space, put in a nice hardwood floor, and started building up the walls for this massive, about 30 villager trading hall. While building this trading hall, I did have to repair my tools a couple times, and while I was up there, I decided to add another layer to the mob farm. And this one would hopefully be only for creepers, so I put trapdoors and some carpets and everything. One of the reasons I was doing this is because my creeper farm down at the base was just utter trash. I built it in a really bad spot and the spawn rates were terrible. And I've yet to tame any cats, but I figure if I put them on these trapdoors in the corners, that'll help quite a bit. I think this will work, but it's not the best way to do it. And even though this is kind of janky, there were definitely more creepers coming through, and I need the gunpowder badly. After finishing up at the mob grinder, I went back to the trading hall and was putting in this nice deep slate tile floor as well, and this thing really started to take shape. I was also building it in a way that it would be perfect for zombie curing and infecting. On the back side there would be a little walkway for the zombie to hang out in, and as I lowered the villagers he would attack them. But I watched a tutorial to make sure I actually got it right this time. But because I'm so smart, I put the wrong kind of pistons in to start and had to fix that later. I went looking for some swamps to find some slimes to make some sticky pistons, but I remember during the day they don't spawn, so I went all the way over to my wither skeleton farm because the portal there leads right to a swamp, and by the time I finally got over there it was nighttime and it was perfect.
It's looking spicy.
Swamps are still very dangerous, and I got bullied so hard I had to throw an ender pearl to get away from some of these baby zombies.
Stop bullying!
This whole endeavor made me realize how badly I needed to find a slime chunk and make a slime farm because I was not having a great time fighting all these mobs. Fortunately, with looting 3 on the sword, I was able to get quite a bit of slime very quickly. I got the sticky pistons, put in the redstone and levers, and put the trapdoors in the back, and now all I had to do is just get the villagers and the zombie in here. I went to the old breeder to get some more babies going, and I don't know how this is happening, but whoever stays in that building continuously gets turned. So I went over to the cartography hall and decided to turn that into a breeder instead. My design was something I've kind of seen in some tutorials, but I was really just winging it. Basically, you have a bed on the other side of a trapdoor above a little canal that will push them into a minecart, and this would have worked really great except for the fact that as soon as I was done with it, some of my Fletchers just started walking right into this pit. So how it's supposed to work is you make something with either a trapdoor or a slab, so there's only a 1 block high hole that the babies can walk through, and when they use the bed they end up falling in there. How I had it currently set up, just anybody could walk over there, and 2 of the Fletchers got out. It was a pain in the ass. I still had plans for this gold farm and had zero interest to start getting frustrated by the villagers again, so I wrapped up the trading hall putting a roof on it, and then I started to get serious about the gold farm. This gold farm required an absurd amount of materials and random items, so I started off preparing for it by getting a ton of grindstones, glass, wood, and moving over all my magma blocks. Initially, I had planned to build this over by the wither skeleton farm, so hopefully both of them worked at the same time, and there was a nether waste biome over there which I needed. But then I realized there was a massive nether waste biome where my first portal is, and there's a giant lake of lava there, so it would be much better. So I wasted a ton of time just moving the materials back over to my first portal. Since I hadn't yet built another portal to get down from the nether roof, I had to fly all the way home. This build also needed honey blocks, so I started the big grind of just searching for a beehive, and I was not having good luck with this. After an entire day of flying around, I finally found one. You can't really see it in this next shot, but it caught the very corner of my eye. After sleeping in this little meadow, I had to wait for the bees to get back in the beehive so I could use Silk Touch pickaxe to take it with me. When I got back, I wanted to build a little enclosure with a couple custom trees in it. I think eventually it turned out pretty well, but you really want to automate this and build some sort of farm because waiting for the bees takes forever to get honey blocks. Eventually I finished up building this thing and got the first beehive in there. You do need campfires so you can interact with it without the bees getting mad. And my recommendation is to go with the honeycomb first so you can get more beehives as opposed to collecting the honey. This will make the process a lot quicker.
Oh hi, thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Bruh.
After painstakingly luring these guys back into the farm, I was finally done with this thing. Made the mistake of getting some honey first, and that just makes it take so much longer. You really want a bunch of beehives cranking. And then I worked a little bit on the base. I realized I still needed a nether wart farm as I had taken up the last one. Remembering all of this was still in preparation for the gold farm, and just gathering honey blocks takes so long. I had to do a bunch more beehives and breed as many bees as I could. While I was waiting for the bees to make honey each day, I spent it trying to stay productive. Went and got some more dark oak, was just making beehives and fixing things up around the base. I also realized that the iron farm had a ton of flowers I could use to breed the bees, so it was really just grinding out, messing with these guys, and this stuff takes forever. Now my super cool wood farm also works for dark oak, albeit not quite as well, but this is my preferred building material, so I got a ton of it. Eventually got my first honey block and got that achievement that's always giving people problems. I don't know, that was my first try on it. It's not that hard. Now at this point I was really just trying to make the base look a little bit more pretty, trying to stay productive, but when you're just waiting for honey blocks to finish a farm, there's not much you can really do. Eventually I did work on the new trading hall, getting the roof complete on that and putting some glass up there. I also realized that I needed to tame some cats still, so I went hunting for some fish. Also decided to collect some blocks and continue dismantling this giant mountain next to my house. By the end of this 300 days, I was pretty much done with it, but my goodness, what a project for something that you're not even going to get anything out of. Just to build this gold farm, I needed so many random blocks and objects, and I was finally getting to the point where I had all the honey blocks I needed. So the last thing to do was to get some turtle eggs, and then I could finally get started. That turtle is a true MVP. As soon as I would be done feeding them, they'd go right to that beach, lay the eggs, and be ready to go again. Day 291, 292, and 293 I spent gathering the last few supplies that I would need, and then it was off to find a good place for the gold farm. Day 294, I actually realized that where my original portal is probably a great place to do this gold farm. There's a giant lava lake, it's in the nether wastes, and other than the fact that I brought all the supplies over to my other nether roof area, it was working out real well.
Yeah.
So I set up a little base area there, put as many of the supplies as I had with me there, and then flew back over to the wither farm to collect the rest. That's where they were, but ultimately I was just wasting a lot of time by having to go back and forth. While I was at the wither skeleton farm, I also got my tools healed up, as well as 9 more wither skulls. And remember now, I am in fact an idiot, so leaving all the supplies over there, it was pretty comical to go back and realize how long it took just to get them over there, and now I just have to be bringing them all back. Slight silver lining, as I did forget to get cobwebs, and the nether roof over there by the wither skeleton farm had a portal where I had originally spawned into a mine shaft. So I went back, dug back down into the mine shaft, got bullied quite a bit, but eventually got the cobwebs.
Oh, this guy has no chill, man.
Bruh.
The last little bit of preparation was just building a few things that I needed, mainly like a stack of hoppers, ton of hopper mine carts, comparators, droppers, repeaters, just a bunch of stuff, but I was finally ready to get started.
I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
Oh, hi, thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Wow, dude.
That genuinely infuriated me. I could not believe I just did that, and the part that really bothered me was that cactus was to help in case like a baby zombie pigman spawned somehow and got inside the AFK spot, but in all actuality, you don't need to build the AFK spot like that, and that cactus was just a pain in the ass.
Absolutely perfect!
Yes!
Other than that shulker box being lost, the building of this farm was going really well. That kind of redstone machine down there would change and raise or lower the platform with which they land on. For manual, they land and you can kill them with one strike. Without it, they fall and die, and the gold goes into the hoppers. With that though, I had made it to day 300. I was really hopeful that I could finish this gold farm in this time, but it just wasn't going to happen. Mostly due to the fact that the bees took forever to get and forever to get the honey blocks. There will be a link in the description for this gold farm if you're interested, because I am certainly not intelligent enough to explain how it works, as well as some links for Flash Mountain Flood, who have provided some of the music that I use. I want to thank everybody for watching, and please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. In the very next episode, I do finish this gold farm and it works really well. This was still a great episode though. Got the raid done, took down the Woodland Mansion, and I promise you that just preparing for this gold farm took this entire episode. My name is Gronzu, and this has been 300 days of hardcore Minecraft, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.